Pokemon Horizons episode 24 just aired after a 2-week break, and this one was destined to be a big one. It's really been hyped up in terms of the story and the marketing, because at long last, Liko is gonna reunite with her grandma, and her grandma is gonna reveal a game changer. I mean, that's what we expected anyway. The truth was a little bit different. There was a ton of dialogue in this episode, and currently there's no subtitles, so although I'll do my best to cover as much as I can, I may make little mistakes or miss things out here and there, but hey, we're here anyway to talk about the episode, so let's just talk about it. The episode was basically Friede, Liko and Roy heading to Liko's grandma's castle, finally, and then Liko reunited with her grandma and showed her Terapagos, and Liko's grandma was actually surprised that Terapagos came out of the pendant. She explained how she found the pendant when she was younger, and then eventually gave it to Liko. It doesn't seem like Liko's grandma knows too much about anything really, but the one thing she does know is that the paradise that Lucius, the ancient adventurer, was aiming for is called Lakua. I may have pronounced that wrong. But then, suddenly, Amethio, Konya, and Zir appear at the castle ready to fight our heroes for Terapagos. It's a super hype scene with them infiltrating the castle, and for some reason, Terapagos is hyper-focused and angry at Amethio. And that is where the episode ended. So today's episode was definitely much more of a setup kind of episode for the next few episodes. I mean, man, it's all-out war starting next week, with the explorers attacking the castle and fighting with all they have to claim Terapagos. There's gonna be a lot of action, a lot of battling, a lot of combat. The stakes are gonna be really high, dude, and that's really exciting. Today's episode was like the calm before the storm, you know? Setting the scene for what's to come. It did seem like Liko's grandma didn't really know much at all about anything in this episode, which, if I'm totally honest, is kind of disappointing after how much her grandma was being hyped up as the main destination, the main goal, for so many months now. I really thought that based on the story significance they were giving Liko's grandma, and based on how much she was focused on in the marketing for the series, I really thought that she'd reveal much more information about Lucius, or the pendant, or the Pokeballs, or anything really, but it didn't really feel like she knew much at all, you know? Maybe she'll explain more in future episodes, but I do have a slight concern now. Let me explain, okay? So Liko's grandma dedicated so much of her life to going out there and exploring the world and trying to find out more about the ancient adventurer and the pendant, and despite that she didn't really discover much at all. So now if Liko suddenly solves everything, despite kind of being inactive and quite passive, then it'll really feel forced and kind of weird, because her grandma dedicated her life to it and found out nothing. But now Liko suddenly finds out everything within like a tiny time span. Not gonna lie, I'd be fuming if I was her grandma. By far the most intriguing part of this episode was how Terapagos was so angry and so hostile and so hyper-focused towards Amethio specifically. Clearly Terapagos knows something about Amethio that we don't know. It was so angry that it even sent Liko's Hattena into a panic, man. Personally, my theory is that just like many of us believe Liko is a relative of or a descendant of Lucius, the ancient adventurer, I think that maybe Amethio is the descendant of one of the ancient adventurer's enemies. Maybe his arch-enemy from hundreds or thousands of years ago or whatever. And that's why Terapagos recognizes Amethio and is super angry, because it recognizes him as being related to his ancient enemy. That's just a theory though. We briefly saw Sango and Onyx in this episode, with them preparing to strike Liko's group as well, and they seem like really awesome characters so far, dude. Really threatening and proper villains. I can't wait to see more of them. There was also kind of like a background storyline with Sprigatito being jealous of Terapagos being close to Liko, and that's pretty perfectly fitting for Sprigatito's character, you know? It had a similar storyline back at the beginning of the series, with Liko's dad's croissant dog. I forgot what it's called. What's the croissant dog called again? Let me know below. So Sprigatito clearly has some jealous tendencies, and I think that eventually all of this could lead to it evolving and maturing, you know? Overall, while I did come out of this episode feeling like all the build-up to Liko's grandma amounted to like nothing, which was a little bit disappointing, I still did enjoy the episode. It was great to finally reach the castle and Liko's grandma, and even greater to be on the cusp of an all-out war in the coming episodes. Pokemon Horizons is going to war, dude, and I for one am super fired up to see it happen. Let me know your thoughts on this episode below, and be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed. enjoyed, that would really help me out a ton. Join our Discord server and follow me on Twitch using the links below. And on that note, thank you all so much for watching, and best wishes until we meet again.